Welcome back, everybody. Today we're going to be looking into, we're going to be doing a deep dive into the idea of 1,000 true fans.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
I've heard of that.
Yeah, the theory that all you need as a creator is 1,000 diehard supporters to make a living.
1,000.
But
Yeah.
we're going to be using an article that kind of throws some shade on whether that idea even holds up in 2024.
Okay.
I mean, things have changed a lot since
I would imagine so.
since Kevin Kelly first wrote about it back in 2008, especially in the music industry, which is what this article is mainly about. So,
Okay.
yeah, should be an interesting deep dive.
Yeah.
All right, so Kelly's idea was really appealing when it first came out.
Right.
Like, you don't need millions of followers, just 1,000 people who are really into what you do.
Yeah. Just 1,000 people buying your stuff.
It felt achievable, right?
Definitely. It was empowering.
Empowering.
Like, you could do it
Yeah.
if you just found those 1,000 people.
But the music industry has, gone through some major changes since then.
Oh, yeah.
The article really gets into that right from the beginning.
Like, what kind of changes?
Well, the first thing they talk about is how we've moved away from buying physical music like CDs
Right.
and moved into streaming,
Streaming, yeah.
which completely
Change
changed
how you get your music out there.
how this 1,000 true fans model even works.
Makes sense.
So back in the day,
Back in my day,
you'd buy an album for,
like $15 or something?
yeah, like $15, and that money would go
Straight to the artist.
to the artist or the label, but
Yeah.
at least a good chunk went to the artist.
Right.
But now you can be the biggest fan in the world listening to your favorite artist's music 24/7.
You're streaming all the time.
And they're only getting tiny fractions of a penny
Yeah.
for each stream.
So how many streams is that to get to that $100 a year that Kelly was talking about?
Right.
That's got to be.
Millions.
Yeah, like a crazy amount.
The math is kind of mind-blowing.
Yeah, and the article gets into the numbers.
Oh, yeah. They cite some data showing that the average music fan in the U.S.
Yeah.
only spends about $109 per year on music total.
$109 total.
Total.
Okay.
That's not on one artist.
Right. That's on everything,
That's across all their music interests.
including concerts and merch and all that stuff.
Concerts, merch, everything.
So even if you did have those 1,000 true fans, getting a full $100 from each of them
Yeah.
is pretty unlikely.
Yeah, because it's not like anyone
Nobody just listens to one artist.
only listens to one artist.
Right.
Like, if you're a huge fan of one band, you're probably still
Gonna listen to other stuff.
going to festivals, buying merch for other bands.
Right. You go to a concert, you see an opening act, you like them, you buy their shirt.
Yeah, your budget has to be spread out.
Yeah, and you discover new artists.
And that's a good point that the article brings up.
You're not just going to listen to the same stuff forever.
This idea that fandom
You got to branch out.
is exclusive.
Right.
Like, you only have one true fandom, and that's it.
It's like this myth of the super fan.
And it just doesn't really exist that way.
That's not really how it works.
Right, because
There's people like lots of things.
has different interests.
Yeah, and they have,
Limited money.
only so much money to spend.
And then on top of that,
And then on top of all that,
think about how much media we all consume these days.
like how much stuff we're taking.
Back in 2008.
2008, simpler time.
Maybe you had a couple of favorite websites.
Maybe you watch some TV, listen to the radio.
Go watch some TV, listen to the radio.
Nah,
And that was kind of it.
it's crazy.
You're the-
I can't even keep up with it.
People are engaging with 14 different media sources
Mhm.
on average. 14 different sources.
Wow.
We're just constantly bombarded
That makes my head spin.
with content from everywhere, streaming services,
From everywhere, yeah.
social media, podcasts, you name it.
Podcasts.
Yeah. And the article brings up a really interesting example to show how much things have changed.
Okay, I'm interested.
So back in 1983,
In 1983, way back.
over 100 million people watched the MASH finale.
MASH, I remember that
Yeah.
show. 100 million people.
And then cut to this year.
Okay.
Succession's finale only had 2.9 million viewers.
2.9 million.
That's a huge difference.
That's a massive difference.
Right.
Wow.
And it shows you how much
Gathered everyone's attention is.
fragmented our attention has become.
Yeah.
So even if you have those 1,000 true fans,
Like, even if you have them.
are they even seeing your posts?
With all the other stuff going on.
through all the noise.
Yeah. Are they even going to know you put something out?
And then you add in the algorithm.
The algorithms, yeah.
Mm.
It's the puppet masters of the internet.
Are controlling what we even see online.
You could have 1 million followers, but if the algorithm doesn't like you,
Yeah.
nobody sees your stuff.
You can have 1,000 true fans, but if you're not actively working to get past those algorithms,
You got to play the algorithm game.
your stuff isn't reaching them.
You got to figure it out.
So we've got streaming making it harder to reach that $100 per fan.
Right.
We've got fandom being way more diverse than just true fans.
People have lots of interests.
And this constant battle for attention.
So many things to watch and listen to.
In a world overflowing with content,
Yeah, it's overwhelming.
I'm already seeing some problems with this 1,000 true fans idea.
Yeah, some cracks in the foundation.
And we haven't even gotten to the leaky bucket.
The leaky bucket? Oh, yeah, tell me about that.
Oh, this is where things get even more real.
All right.
So it's based on the idea that consumer behavior,
Okay.
even among superfans,
Even the most die-hard fans,
tends to
they don't always stay that way.
regress to the mean
What does that mean?
over time,
Oh,
meaning people change,
okay.
tastes change.
People's priorities change. They discover new stuff.
Priorities shift, people discover new things they love. It's just natural. It's not personal. Yeah, it happens. Part of life.
Part of how fandom works.
Fandom isn't forever.
Yeah, the article talks about Byron Sharp's work on buyer behavior.
Buyer behavior. Okay.
And basically, there's just this natural churn.
Like a revolving door?
Yeah, some people come in, some people leave.
You can't expect everyone to stick around forever.
So you can't just focus on keeping your existing fans happy.
You can't just cater to the ones you've got.
You have to be constantly attracting new ones.
Gotta keep bringing in the new folks.
To replace those who inevitably
If you're gonna move on,
drift away.
you always need fresh blood.
It's like
fresh fans.
even if you had a perfectly sealed bucket,
Okay, a perfectly sealed bucket.
you'd still need a steady flow of water coming in to keep it full.
I like that analogy.
And that brings us to the next point that the article makes,
What's that?
which is kind of a flip on the traditional idea of creators finding fans.
Okay.
It's about the rise of fans as creators. Fans as creators. What does that mean?
And this is where things get really interesting.
All right, I like where this is going.
Because especially among Gen Z,
Gen Z always on the cutting edge.
fandom isn't passive anymore.
It's not just sitting back and enjoying the show.
It's about participation creation.
They're getting involved.
And even earning money
Wow.
from your passion.
Making money from being a fan.
They even cite a statistic that 65% of Gen Z identify as creators in some way.
65% is most of them.
Think about all the fan art.
Oh, yeah, all the fan
All the fan edits, reaction videos, remixes.
remixes, fan edits, all that stuff.
It's a whole ecosystem
It's like a whole world.
built around engaging with existing content
Taking what's already out there and making it their own.
in new and creative ways.
Pretty amazing.
And the article breaks it down into different types of fans.
Okay, different levels of fandom.
So you've got your casual fan
Just your average, everyday fans.
who mainly just consume content.
They watch the stuff, they listen to the music.
Then you've got your big fans
Ones who are really into it,
who are more likely to spend money on merch or tickets.
they buy the t-shirts, they go to the shows.
Then you've got super fans
Super fans. These are the hardcore ones.
who take it a step further
They're all in.
by actively participating in the fandom.
Like they're running fan groups online.
They're creating content,
Yeah, they're making videos, writing blog posts.
attending events,
They're going to conventions.
maybe even running fan communities.
They're the leaders of the fandom.
And then you've got the newest category,
New breed of fan.
professional fans.
Professional fans, okay.
But these are fans who are actually generating income
Making money.
from their fandom.
Wow.
Whether that's through streaming, creating content,
So they're like fan
or
entrepreneurs.
selling fan-made products.
That's impressive.
So it's a much more complex picture of fandom
A lot more nuance.
than the 1,000 true fans model suggests.
It's not as simple as it used to be.
Yeah, it's not just about finding people who will buy your stuff.
It's about so much more than that.
It's about engaging with this whole spectrum of fan behavior.
You got to connect with all the different types of fans.
So we've gone from this simple idea,
1,000 true fans, easy peasy.
1,000 true fans,
Right.
to this much messier reality
The real world is always messier.
where streaming economics, fan behavior,
And the way people consume media,
media overload, and the rise of fan creators
it's a whole new ballgame.
all challenge its viability.
It makes you wonder if it's even possible anymore.
But the article doesn't leave us hanging.
They give us some hope.
They actually offer some pretty practical advice on how to thrive in this new landscape.
I'm all ears.
Ready to dive into that?
Let's do it.
All right, so the article calls this section Marketing Makeover, Adapting to the New Reality.
Marketing makeover.
And it's got tons of advice for creators.
Oh, cool.
First thing they talk about is balancing getting new fans
Okay.
with keeping the ones you already have.
Makes sense.
It's not like you have to choose one or the other.
Right, you need both.
You need both to really thrive.
Yeah, like a restaurant.
Yeah.
You want new customers coming in.
You want new people walking in the door.
If you also want your regulars to keep coming back.
You want to treat your regulars, right?
Yeah.
So on the getting new fans side of things,
The acquisition.
what are some things creators can actually do?
Yeah, because it's got to be tough to stand out these days.
Especially now when it's so hard to get noticed.
Right. There's just so much out there.
Well, they talk about playlists.
Playlists.
Like understanding how people are even finding new music these days.
Right, because nobody's just browsing the record store anymore.
Playlists are huge.
Playlists.
So you got to be thinking about pitching your music to playlist curators.
Oh, okay. So like getting on those big playlists.
On Spotify, Apple Music.
Yeah.
But also like independent playlists.
Right, the curated ones.
The curated ones.
That people trust.
Yeah. And then there's social media.
Social media, which is a whole other beast.
Right. It's so hard to break through those algorithms.
Yeah, you can post something and it feels like nobody sees it.
But it's still a major way that people discover music.
So what do you do?
So the key is not just blasting out links to your music.
Okay.
It's about making content that actually engages people.
Content that makes people stop scrolling.
Right. Like behind the scenes snippets.
Like a little peek behind the curtain.
Interactive polls.
People talking.
Even collaborating with other creators.
Team ups. Yeah.
It's about adding value and sparking people's curiosity.
So it's not just about you.
It's about providing something interesting.
Yeah, giving people a reason to follow you.
Okay, so that's getting new fans.
Acquisition.
What about keeping the ones you already have?
Retention.
How do you make sure those fans stick around?
How do you keep them coming back for more?
Well, the article talks about building real relationships.
Real relationships, okay.
And email newsletters are still a good way to do that.
Email, yeah, people still use email.
You can offer exclusive content.
Give them something they can't get anywhere else.
Share personal stories.
Let them get to know you.
Make your fans feel like they're part of an inner circle.
Like they're VIPs.
And even just responding to comments and messages
Oh, yeah, just acknowledging people.
can go a long way.
Yeah, it shows you care.
It shows you actually care.
That you're not just some faceless entity.
Especially in a world where everyone is vying for attention.
Right, everyone's shouting, look at me, look at me. Those little personal touches.
These little things.
Make a difference.
They can really set you apart.
The article also talks about accessibility and availability.
Okay.
It sounds obvious.
Accessibility and availability. What does that even mean?
But I bet a lot of creators don't really think about it.
Like, what are we talking about here?
It's about making sure your music is easy to find
Okay.
and easy to enjoy.
So people aren't getting frustrated trying to listen to your stuff.
Right. Are you on all the major streaming platforms?
You got to be where the people are.
Is your website up to date and easy to use?
Yeah. Is it like 2005 back there? Do you have branding that's consistent across all your social media channels?
You gotta look professional.
It's like making sure the sign outside your shop
Okay.
is bright and inviting.
Yeah, you want people to come in.
You want people to be able to find you.
You don't want them to get lost on the way.
And speaking of connecting,
Connecting with fans.
the next piece of advice is all about direct communication,
Direct communication.
which for a lot of creators can feel kind of awkward.
I can see that.
Like, how do you reach out to your fans
Without being annoying.
without coming off as pushy?
Yeah, you don't want to scare them away.
Or like you're just trying to sell them something.
Right. Nobody wants to feel like they're being sold to all the time.
So the key is to change your mindset.
Okay.
It's not about constantly promoting your music.
It's not about the hard sell.
It's about sharing your creative journey
Bringing them along for the ride.
and building those relationships.
It's about the connection.
So think about hosting live Q&As.
Oh, yeah. Q&As, those are fun.
Giving behind-the-scenes glimpses into your process.
Show them how the magic happens.
Or even just sending out personal updates.
Just a little, hey, this is what I'm working on.
Those personal updates, even if they're just a quick email,
Or a social media post.
can really make people feel connected.
Like they're in the loop.
It makes them feel like they're part of something.
Yeah, part of something bigger.
And speaking of feeling like you're part of something,
Oh, this is a good one.
this next part of the article is all about fan content.
Fan content, yeah.
Which is where things get really meta.
Meta, what's meta?
Because now we're not just talking about fans passively listening to music or watching videos.
They're not just sitting back and consuming anymore.
They're actively creating,
They're making stuff.
remixing,
They're putting their own spin on things.
reimagining the things they love.
It's pretty cool.
And this is a huge opportunity for creators.
How so?
Because now you're not just relying on yourself to get the word out.
You've got help.
You've got this whole army of passionate fans.
An army of fans. That's awesome.
helping you promote your work.
And they're doing it for free.
And they're doing it in all these really creative ways.
They're coming up with stuff you'd never even think of.
The article says that 66% of Gen Z spend more time with fan-made content than with the original stuff.
66%.
Whoa! That's incredible!
That's more than half.
It just shows you how powerful it can be
The power of fandom.
to tap into that fan energy.
So how do you do that?
How do you encourage that?
How do you get fans to make cool stuff?
Well, the article suggests giving fans the tools and resources
Give them what they need.
to make it easy for them to get creative.
Make it easy for them to make stuff.
So share your lyrics.
Okay.
So they can make lyric videos.
Weird videos, yeah.
Release instrumentals for remixes.
So they can make their own versions.
Even create visual assets that they can use in their edits.
Like little graphics and stuff.
The more you empower your fans,
The more you give them,
the more invested they become.
it's like you're building a team.
It's a win-win.
Everybody wins.
They get to be creative.
They get to express themselves.
And you get all this amazing fan-generated content.
And you get free marketing.
It's like free marketing, but amplified by genuine passion.
That's authentic. It's real.
And it creates this feeling of community
A sense of belonging.
around your music.
People feel like they're part of something.
Which brings us to the next point,
Okay, hit me with it.
which might seem a little counterintuitive.
Counterintuitive, how so?
Appealing to a broader audience.
They're not just focusing on your niche.
It's easy to get caught up in trying to define your niche.
Yeah, like who are your people?
And cater specifically to those people.
Right, you want to make music for your fans.
But the reality is,
Okay.
most people like a lot of different kinds of music.
Yeah, people have varied tastes. They have diverse tastes.
You might be surprised what people are listening to.
So don't be afraid to cast a wider net.
Don't limit yourself.
The article mentions this idea of the long tail.
The long tail. Okay. Which is this idea that there's a market for everything.
Even the weird stuff.
Even the most niche interests.
There's an audience for everything.
But to really gain traction,
to really get big,
you gotta think beyond that narrow focus.
you gotta think bigger.
So think about how your music could connect with people
Okay.
in different contexts.
Different situations.
Is it great for studying or working out?
Background music, yeah.
Does it have a road trip vibe?
Perfect for cruising down the highway.
Explore those possibilities.
Get creative.
And figure out how to get your music in front of those audiences.
Yeah, get it out there.
So it's about balancing having a unique style
You want to stand out,
with appealing to a wider range of listeners.
but you also want to be accessible.
And the next piece of advice is all about emotion.
Emotion. Okay.
Because music is powerful.
Music makes you feel things.
It makes you feel things.
It can make you happy, it can make you sad.
It connects with us on a deeper level
It's more than just sounds.
than just the notes and rhythms.
It's about something deeper.
And yet so much music marketing focuses on the rational.
Like just the facts.
Stream my new song. Buy my album. Follow me on social media.
Yeah, just telling people what to do.
It can feel transactional and impersonal.
Like you're just another ad.
It's like you're being bombarded with ads.
Yeah, it's just like spam.
Instead of being invited into this creative world,
You want to draw people in.
so instead of leading with a sales pitch,
Don't just try to sell them something.
lead with emotion.
Make them feel something.
Tell the stories behind your songs.
Let them know where the music came from.
Share the inspiration that sparked your creativity.
What got you excited about making this music?
Create visuals that capture the mood and feeling of your music.
Yeah, set the vibe.
It's about helping people understand why your music matters.
What makes it special?
What makes it special?
Why should they care?
And how it might connect with their own experiences.
Help them see themselves in the music.
And don't underestimate the power of vulnerability.
Being real with people.
Sharing your own struggles and triumphs can create a really powerful connection.
Yeah, people connect with authenticity.
Okay, so we've covered a lot.
We've been through a lot.
We've talked about fan creation,
Embracing the fans.
casting a wider net,
Don't be afraid to branch out.
leading with emotion.
Make them feel it.
But there's one final piece of advice in the article
One last thing.
that I think ties everything together.
All right.
Tying your music to cultural moments.
Cultural moments.
This is about finding ways to make your music relevant
Make it current.
to what's happening in the world around you.
Tap into the zeitgeist.
Tapping into those cultural conversations
What are people talking about?
and finding your place within them.
How does your music fit in?
So, for example, if your music is aligned with a particular social movement or cause,
If it speaks to something bigger than itself?
find ways to connect with those communities.
Yeah, get involved.
Or maybe there's a current event that resonates with your lyrics.
Or a holiday that matches the mood of your music.
Find those connections.
Make it relevant.
and use them to reach new audiences.
Expand your reach.
It's about giving people a reason to listen to your music right now.
In this moment.
In this moment.
Make it timely.
It's about understanding that music doesn't exist in a vacuum.
It's part of the world.
It exists within this larger cultural context.
It's all connected.
And tapping into that context
Understanding the bigger picture.
can be a powerful way to connect with your audience.
It can make all the difference.
Man, we covered a lot of ground today.
Yeah, that was a lot.
I think the biggest takeaway for me is that this 1,000 True Fans thing,
Yeah.
it's still a cool idea,
That's a nice thought.
but it definitely needs an update.
Like a 2024 remix.
It's not enough to just find those diehard supporters anymore.
Right, you need more than just those core fans.
The whole landscape has changed.
The world's a different place.
The way we listen to music,
The way we watch videos.
the way we connect with creators,
Even what it means to be a fan.
it's all different.
It's not just about buying stuff anymore.
And the cool thing is, this doesn't just apply to musicians.
Right, this is for any kind of creator.
This is for anyone trying to build an audience online in 2024.
Anyone trying to make a living from their creativity.
Think about your favorite YouTubers, authors, podcasters,
Chefs, fitness instructors.
anyone who's building a community online.
They're all dealing with these same challenges.
They're not just relying on their followers to see every post.
Right, they're not just preaching to the choir.
They're constantly trying to reach new people,
Got to keep going.
experimenting with different formats,
Trying new things.
collaborating with other creators.
It's all about evolution.
And they're really embracing this idea of fan content.
Yeah, the fans are part of the team now.
It's not just about putting your stuff out there anymore,
It's about creating a space where your fans can get involved,
where they can participate,
contribute.
even earn money from their passions.
It's a whole new way of thinking about it.
It's about building an ecosystem.
Not just a following.
I think that's a really important point
It's a shift in perspective,
for anyone listening.
whether you're a creator or a fan.
We got to move beyond this idea that it's all about transactions.
Like, subscribe, sales.
It's about building real connections.
It's about fostering a sense of community.
It's about co-creating something meaningful.
It's about the shared experience.
This deep dive has really given me a lot to think about.
The whole new way of looking at things.
It's definitely changed my perspective on how creators can thrive.
The world is changing and we got to change with it.
If you're interested in learning more about all this,
Yeah, there's so much more to explore.
we highly encourage you to check out the source material.
It's a great read.
We'll have a link in the show notes.
It's full of insights and practical advice.
And if you're a fan,
If you're out there listening,
think about how you can support the creators you love in more meaningful ways.
it's not just about hitting that like button.
It's not just about buying their stuff.
It's about getting involved.
It's about being part of their creative journey.
It's about the connection.
Well, that's it for our deep dive today.
That's all she wrote.
We hope this has given you some new ideas.
And inspired you to keep creating.
Until next time, keep seeking knowledge and keep creating.